Hello and welcome to AFA Season 2, Episode 8. If the characters need introduction by now, then really, I mean, after 8 episodes, come on, 7 even, this is the 8th.
Oh, come on. After 51 episodes of MASH, we're still introducing our characters.
Okay, would you like to introduce yourself, Mr. Strokes himself?
Thank you for that very personal, demeaning, if possibly accurate introduction. Yes, I'm Martin Valhausen, and I'm the sane brains of this organization.
And Zeev the Dweeb.
I just realised I'd forgotten my old, crappy nickname from before, so I made up a new one. But yes, I am Zeev. I am somebody who is quite eccentric and a bit flamboyant, and apart from that, I don't really remember much about me, except I am nimble, I guess, and I had a shitty teacher at one point, so I'm good at sitting on chairs with lots of splinters.
And you're a big cat.
I am a big cat, yes, but obviously I'm a big cat.
And Finny Nolly Ninny.
Yeah, Finny Ninny. Well, what can you say? House Oak. Sometimes magic user, but that doesn't usually work. So
Magic is not as bad as you guys believe it is.
It's way
Out of
worse.
combat, it always works.
way worse.
Way worse.
Out of combat, it can always work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because you can do it as a ritual.
We never use it out of combat.
we never
This
need
is your
it out of
problem.
combat. To be fair.
You know, you do rituals, they're fine. Okay. And Gavlarad the Short.
Yes, as my name suggests, I am not a piece of IKEA furniture, but I am a dwarf. Or at the very least, I used to be a dwarf, because now I lost the beard. And then I don't know what I am anymore. Because we got really high on Nostrum. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
lost my beard, Ziv lost his hair. We all are now blonde with pointy ears. Drug addicts, junkies, closing in on our withdrawal crisis. So we'll see how will that pan out. How that will pan out. And oh yeah, I'm in charge of the last week's summary. So you see, guys watching from home, last week Becky decided that I was not properly introduced to her DMing style. So she decided it was the time, finally, after 8 session, for me to lose my virginity in this sense. So what happened is that we managed on 2 sessions earlier to get our passes to enter the Dwarvish Keep. And last session, somehow I was married to a really old, really eerie looking dwarf witch. Apparently, I had a child with said witch. Everything like the infomercial, like a newspaper. I love it. I love it. Except I don't. I'm not. I'm not lying. And apparently, last week's session was all we discovered at the end a drug-induced dream where we apparently Martin, Zeev, and Finny were kept prisoners in some sort of was that underground chambers, something like that. Maybe they had experiments on them. I don't know, but I had the 3 vials of their blood apparently still storing their souls in them, while I was living my life with this weird-looking, saggy boobs witch that decided at one point that my child and I had to die in order for her to gain more powers, I believe. So by the end of the session, I summoned my friend back to me, they didn't know what happened to them because they had no recollections of their. I believe that you said they were locked away for decades, or something like that of sorts. I don't recall perfectly, but in the end, we managed to kill the witch and to regain consciousness after the real dwarves in the real world had some background checks on us, something like that, if we were enemy of the state or whatever we were called. And I believe that in the end of the session, I actually met my child that apparently is a real thing, but didn't want to disclose her identity to me, so she passed the note saying we will soon meet again, or something along those lines.
We'll meet once more.
Once more, yeah.
You said you didn't really remember anything, and you come out with this, you dark horse.
Yeah, because I keep recollecting while I was telling stuff and bashing on Becky.
I mean, to be honest, you remember more than me. It was like a month ago, whenever it was.
Well, it was Halloween. That was the whole
Yeah.
point.
Look.
Oh, fuck, it was really a month ago.
They always say you always remember your first time. This is just proof of it. Just
Wow.
absolute proof. You never forget your first time.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah.
I fell out of bed.
Thank you for this image. Now burning my brain.
I
Thank you
got
very much.
stuck between the bed and the wall as well. It was horrendous.
Cool.
I guess.
My
I didn't
arms
realize we were
got
taking this
pinned.
literally.
Anyway,
And on that joyous note,
Moving
you
on.
are on a mountain pass. Well, you're coming out. You're coming out of the twin city, in essence, of Asher and Thum.
Yes.
You're heading out of Thum on its northern slopes, and yeah, you're in quite a rocky area. So earth magic is in its element here. So earth magic will just be a normal test. No special suits required.
Not me.
And you're following a dwarvish army. They are moving quite slow. So if you want to move at the full pace you could move, you would have to move up through the army because you can't exactly go around when you're walking down a mountainous ravine, basically. You're behind the baggage train of their army.
Hey, Finny, could you maybe make the rocks underfoot a bit more turbulent so they slide down a bit quicker?
I wouldn't recommend such a thing since you're actually slaves here. So if you're caught, you're dead, basically.
How long have we been traveling together and you still don't understand if I am being joking or not? Obviously, it will cause more logistical problems.
Just because you're not funny, mate.
Listen, once we get out of this slave and master roleplay, honestly, things are going to change.
Wow.
waiter,
of course, I'm
waiter,
joking,
we'd like a saucer of milk to the dwarf.
Yeah. Save the fighting for other people.
It's the setting, guys. It's getting on. It's growing on me. I have to get out of here before I turn into some sort of fascist.
It is the
dwarf.
power.
The power of the
is growing
place.
on you,
Yes.
yes. Yes, we
No,
will take you
I
down
mean-
the pegging soon enough.
Jokes aside, we could. I mean, if you are to perform some earth magic, we could make it as I was doing it, so that they just don't pick on you being human, or
Yeah, if
something
you
like that.
How
pretend you're casting it and I'm assisting you.
Oh, so you are serious about my idea?
Becky,
That could be, or we're just following the army, hoping it would
if
take ages for us to reach the gates.
the path that we're on, how much sort of room if we try and go sort of pass through this army?
Hmm.
How much room are they going to actually be able to give us without them suffering serious consequences? Because I've got a feeling our only safe, we could go through them. I'm worried if we can't go around them, if we shift everyone over one line across, you're just going to see suddenly a whole column of dwarves fall off the fucking mountain.
First of all, you're surrounded by high sides. The
That's what I
dwarves
thought, yeah.
are not marching in unit formation. It's a general amble. What's more, what's in front of you is the baggage train, which is even more chaotic. And it is just a huge kind of slow-moving traffic jam. So you could work your way through the crowd, as it were, with lots of, excuse me, on me, coming through.
Okay. No, I thought they were in ranks.
No,
So,
you've
Right,
not even,
that
to be
helps.
honest,
That helps.
you cannot even see the dwarven army from here.
Okay.
You're dealing with the baggage train, which in
It'd
itself
almost be-
is huge.
It'd almost be easier if they're in ranks, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So if not in ranks, I mean, we can just
No, it'd be harder.
squeeze through.
It'd be harder if they were in ranks because they just would. They would be immovable. They wouldn't move out of formation.
Judging by our recent lifestyle choices as well, we had quite noticeable in the crowd, I imagine.
Yes, you notice the baggage train it's 98% dwarven. There are actually a few goblin slaves.
If we try and force our way through, I think we'll end up in a load of fights.
Babe, just remind me, are goblins in your setting still quite small, or are they maybe like...
Yeah, they're quite small. They come in a number of varieties. There are goblins goblin is like the parent category. Underneath that, there are things like gobwings, which fly, boglins, which live underground, in boggy terrain, stuff like that. Goblins eat earth. And yeah, I mean, they're kind of small, wimpy creatures, really. Kind of gremlin-y.
And still quite small, you were saying, like...
Quite small, not very strong, not much to them. When they do attack in the wild, they use numbers.
So we could probably push through the baggage train pretty quick.
Well, I mean, it's quite sizable, but yes.
But then we still come against the back of the army and can't go anywhere.
No.
Who knows? I mean, you can't even see the army from here.
The spell we want to cast, cast anything is flying.
But also my concern is, even if we get through this baggage, once you reach the army, I'm sure that people will start noticing us a bit more.
Yeah, I mean,
we stand out.
They're not going to want to let us through, are they?
No.
I mean, do they even class Gamrad as a dwarf now?
A lot of the dwarves do have various amounts of elvishness from the recent cloud. Some of them are still fully dwarf, depending on where they were at the time it hit. But those who were nearer the surface and in Ashad, and Ashad is more the military side of Ashad and Thum, they are, more impacted. Amongst the baggage train, where you've got more people from Thum, they're less impacted.
Okay, so we could move past the carts and wagons, so we can have a broader view of what's in front of us, and then decide where to go from there.
You start pushing through the baggage train, and it's not easy to do, and there's a lot of excuse me, mind that please, and that kind of stuff. And a few people go, "Hey!" I'm swearing at you in Thumian. you've been doing this for about half an hour, making your way through the baggage train. You're somewhere in the middle of it when you hear an almighty distant roaring cry. It's almost like a dragon is yodeling.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Oh, is the Queen coming?
Would we recognize her voice actually, since she is technically our mother?
She's not
Grandmother.
your mother,
No,
by the
she's
way.
not
but,
our mother.
you
We are
know what?
sons. We are children of the Dragon King.
If you pass a folklore check, if somebody passes a folklore check,
Folklore. Yeah,
Got a
I got a
one.
1. Yeah,
I have nothing, so go ahead.
I'm doing it. Is that okay with you, Phil?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All this time I've got our lineage completely wrong.
it's her son is your father. She's your grandmother.
So
Oh, okay.
low as usual, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
Yes, you're sure that from the timbre of its voice, you are sure it is most likely her. There's only a couple of creatures you're aware of that it could be, given the sheer volume it must be, because it is very distant. The only creatures it could be is her, possibly her son, although you think it's her from the timbre, or possibly the brood mother, which is the queen of the wyverns. They live inside a volcano on the edge of the desert.
Yeah.
It's not really right to be a griffin, and it's probably the queen.
Okay.
You're like 95% sure.
So since we are in the middle of some Nazi army, I suggest we move all to a side.
go left, as it were.
Go
try
left or right or whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're kind of being channeled out by the mountain at the moment, but as you get further down the mountain, it's starting to get a little wider. But of course, everyone's just spreading out, which is just giving a bit more space to move past people, which makes it a bit quicker. But you notice everyone is kind of coming to a stop. This allows you actually to make better time through the baggage train. So it doesn't take long before you actually reach or come across a number of what you can only describe as commissars. These are like the Thumian SS. And they're all there in their black leather trench coats, having a big discussion about the sound. And I'm sure, well, you understand this, Gamlarad, because actually, yes, because I forgot to mention this, I think, last time. But after your experience, having lived 20 years in Asher Thum in an alternative timeline, you do now have the Thumian language.
Ooh.
Hooray!
You can speak it. What I meant to say when I gave you that note from your daughter was that it was in Thumian.
Okay.
I was going to say, because presumably because the rest of us are being like little bottles, we have no idea.
You have no
still
idea.
what's being said. Fine.
But yes,
Yeah, we have one
Gamlarad,
person.
you can hear the commissars are discussing. They're discussing what the noise was, and they think, or they're arguing, saying one of them is saying it's definitely the Queen, and one saying it could be the brood mother. I mean, those bastard Aherians, you're just paranoid. But because these guys have stopped, because these guys have stopped to have this big discussion, and there's a lot of commissars in this part. There's like a couple of hundred, to put that into context, and so they're kind of filling this part of the valleyway, and you haven't started trying to move through the commissars yet, but yeah, that's what's kind of going on in front of you now as all these commissars are arguing. The baggage train has stopped and is waiting. You can see the other side of the commissars. A number of slaves in chains are just kind of milling around waiting to be told to go again. huge sea of slaves the other side of this big bottleneck of commissars. What do you do?
Do you think it is worth it to try and go past the commissars? I do believe we may have some troubles in doing so. As in, like, they are some sort of authority here, and we are nobodies.
My opinion has not changed since previously. I am keeping cautious.
Yeah, I think perhaps if you deal with them, Camarade,
Well, who else is going to deal with them? We can't.
Yeah. The only advice I would give is fake it. You know, be authoritative. You know, just act as if you are an authority, and just,
You can do it. I believe in you.
you know, just running your way through it. It's either that or we hold off.
we could
Okay,
do for ages.
I'd like to step a little bit farther, not going still through the bottleneck of commissars as you defined it, but rather asking, if we're not going forward, we will never figure that out, whether it is the Queen or the Broadmother.
So, just so I'm understanding, you're saying that to a
To
commissar?
the commissar, yeah.
Okay, just a random one, or ones that are talking, or
No, just a random one in order to spark a little bit of a counter argument to
okay.
what's already going on.
Commissar cocks his head at you and sneers, and then gruffly. And he turns away from you.
Fair point.
Amazing.
Fair point.
Amazing. So I'll just say this again, but a little bit louder.
Okay,
Not to him, but in a general
Yeah.
area.
But as you do so, the one you first spoke to turns back around to you, having previously turned away. Kind of snorts, like cleans his nose on his hand, wipes his hand on your tunic, and then turns away from you again.
The audacity of this bitch.
Yeah. But I mean, four against a couple of hundreds.
If
I don't
only
like
I
this
had,
odds. Yeah.
if only I had some earth magic, I could just trip this bastard up.
I do have earth magic.
Yes, I know.
Do we want to do that though? Like say we are in the midst of an army.
It would be quite amusing though if we could just trip them all up like a domino effect and just walk straight through. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Oh, life was so much simpler before we took the nostrum.
It was.
It was.
I was thinking of just scoffing at this motherfucker and just go through, but I don't think that will end well for any one of us.
We will be the chopping fodder, I think.
Okay, so I'm going closer to the ones talking.
Okay, so what's basically happening as they continue to debate, there's kind of a ring of commissars forming around them, and it's creating a kind of a dense patch of commissars, which is allowing it to be a bit thinner toward the edges.
Go. We move.
Can we get around them? Yeah.
Yeah, we're going.
Okay, so you basically stumble sideways through the baggage train to get to the edges, and or one of the edges, and then there are though, if as you get close to the edge of this valley that you're in, there are some commissars sat on rocks. Like you'd have to go up the side of the valley, up a scree slope, to actually go fully around them. So do you do that, or do you walk through the relatively open space in front of them?
I'd rather choose the slightly open path rather than being like above everybody, perfectly visible.
I was thinking more the opposite, because we're going to be open if we go into the open space.
Yeah,
But
We're
it's-
gonna be open, especially if
It's-
everybody has
Rock,
a direct eye contact with us.
it's rocky ground. There's no foliage here because it's all just been cleared. And yeah, I say open ground. There are gaps you can walk through of several meters wide between various little groups of commissars having a natter. Some
I'd say do that.
I say Gamlered in the front, and let's just push through.
Yeah, because if we go up around the scree slope, we stand a chance of knocking some stones down on them. Which,
Yeah.
Okay, like a mother hen and her chicks. Got it.
Okay.
Pretty much.
All right.
Well, none of us can take the lead because we're seen as slaves. It has to be Gamlered taking the lead and us following him.
All right. What kind of check should we make this? Is it going to be mountain? Or is it going to be... there isn't really a confidence one, is
No,
there?
because I don't has a mountain.
I've got to
Ice,
one.
ice,
No, there
ice,
isn't actually.
ice has mountain. It's not much. It's only one, but ice has mountain.
Yeah, same.
There is also, I suppose, hide and sneak could potentially count, even though you've been confident you're hiding in plain sight.
I also have a 1 in that, which it's 6.5 a dozen.
Lacking an appropriate skill here. Because arguably it would be a kind of disguise in a way.
Well, there is disguise skill.
Yeah.
Well, nothing
So-
in that.
I got 9 in that.
Let's make
I
it
have-
disguise.
You can.
I have nothing too, but I'm happy to go for it because my hand's quite good.
Okay.
Yeah. We
your best.
nominate you on the basis that
Gulp.
Yeah, gulp.
Okay.
ouch.
So
My hands, it's kind of good. It wasn't that good.
it wasn't that good. Please. Oh, I knew you had an always win. Fuck's sake.
Damn.
Oh, fuckity fuck.
That is close.
I
That
was
is
so
very,
close to
very
thinking, do
close.
I put more because I bet she has an always wins? And I thought, no, it's going to be fine.
Close.
Probability's too low, but no. I should have gone with my gut. Fuck.
Oh dear.
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, don't worry, mate.
It's all right.
So as you're walking confidently through this gaggle of commissars, Zeev kind of taps you on the shoulder because Gamrad, who's leading the way, was about to sort of step in front or a bit close to a group because he was looking elsewhere. So Zeev kind of tries to direct Gamrad off to the side. And of course, in doing so, he doesn't show any of the proper etiquette a slave would have, which catches the eye of a commissar who says, "Excuse me, what the bloody hell do you think you're doing?" And he comes striding over.
No,
towards
It's,
Zeev.
no, it's my bad, Commissar. It's my bad. What the hell?
it's your
I'm always
slave's
telling
bad.
you. Sorry?
It's your slave's bad.
I mean,
And
I
I
was
could do
sold
with a
him
new
as a
rug. I'll buy your slave from you. And he hands you
no,
3
it's,
Thumian
It's
what
not
did-
on sale.
I'm so close to saying I haven't got any hair left, mate, but I don't.
Yeah,
and I just
he
sort of look at
doesn't.
myself
He generally
like I'm
doesn't.
bald.
But as I said, it's not on sale because I believe in redemption. So I'll take charge of re-educate my slave, punish him as I see fit. But it's not on sale. I'm sorry.
I'll give you 5 gold. I could grow him out, and make a nice rug.
I'm sorry, but it's not offering more money that I will sell him.
Also, believing in redemption. Hang on.
I
He
step
gets out a
behind
big
you at this
book.
point. Camera had to kind of hold on to, like,
He gets out a big book, and he said it's called Thumian Law,
oh fuck you.
and hands it to you. I think you need this. You need to brush up.
Thank you very much. And as he gives me the book, I knock it on Zeev's abdomen, like in order to make a little bit of noise. This is the first.
You did what with our law?
I'm trying to
Your papers.
my papers. Yes, just mine. I thought that sounded cool. I'm sorry.
That was the equivalent of beating someone in a church with a Bible.
Yeah.
I heard of
You're-
something like that.
A visitor.
Yep.
And you're shadowing our army. You're a spy.
I'm what?
Oh fuck.
And is that a Moranian accent I detect?
Oh God!
A Moranian spy?
You're getting a
with
lot
me.
out of this. It's not a critical fail, and yet somehow this has gone so bad.
Somehow it turned out to be.
It was going well until you started talking to them.
Come with me.
I can't
be most
even do
delighted.
anything. I've got decent scores on some things, but they don't apply because I'm a slave.
I wasted my always wins
He-
and a 9 for this.
He holds your arm, but he's not constricting at all. It's like he's just leading you through the crowd.
Wait. As I posted in the chat there, guys, I think we're very close to having to leg it here.
Yeah, I looked at that, and then Gamlerad started talking.
As always.
And he guides
It
you
is
through
always my fucking fault.
through the commissars and until he reaches several commissars whose uniforms are actually decorated with gold.
Where's our grandmother when we need her?
Where
And,
is my daughter when I need her?
It's not the time to ask.
Grand Commissar General,
Oh fuck.
guests from Moraine, spies no less for the Queen.
I never said, nor has been proven, that I'm a spy. But yes,
And
I'm
this-
from Moraine.
This rather old-looking dwarf kind of hobbles up to you. He's got white hair, a big handlebar white moustache, and of course beard with the beads all on the left,
Lucky him.
implying that he's a male. And
Okay.
but
Yeah, that is a thing.
yep, the women put their beard beads on the right.
Okay.
So comes and he kind of hobbles forward to you, and he's when I say hobbles, he's got a wheelchair made of wood. Comes forward on his chair. Fantastic. Didn't know the Queen would be sending a spy / advisor. Which role is it you're taking here? Just observing, or are you here to give advice? You're not going to run this campaign, I'll have you know.
No, I'm sorry, Becky. Before I say anything stupid again, I want to be sure what I heard because I don't think I heard you quite right. It was asking
Sure.
if I'm some sort of advisor or an observer.
Yes, that's right. You advising, or are you just here to observe?
I'm sorry to disappoint you, General, but I'm just through your magnificent cities because I have no business here.
Ah, an observer. I see you are well trained, not even breaking your cover now, but we'll have none of that nonsense. We're all here fighting for the same side. We, after all, have been paid a lot of money to wage this war by your queen.
Oh, I believe I actually heard her. Is she here that you know? Because I heard some commissioners behind us saying they weren't sure.
Yes, they were debating whether that was the Queen's voice. And being from Moraine, and I assume being high up in one of the houses, I was hoping you might know. But if you're not an advisor, I suppose you're not going to say. You're just here to observe, right? Yes. Clever man.
Oh god! Somehow I felt more comfortable being a rug.
Yeah, you are most intelligent, General.
I suppose
Most
you'll
sharp.
want to know our battle plans, eh?
No, I do not.
Oh, trying to keep an impartial mind. You're smart, you Moranians, you know.
Or maybe I'm just an observant advisor. See how you act up in order to decide whether you need my advice or not.
Ah, playing both sides of the coin. Very clever. I like you. You're a smart one. Good cookie.
Oh
What the fuck
God!
is going on, guys? What the fuck? Oh,
Clearly, what's happening here is very simple. Clearly, Becky has decided your virginity wasn't lost quite enough yet.
yeah.
You've got quite an extensive family tree, apparently.
What way? Well, I'm. You shall travel with me then as my guest.
Oh, I'll be most
excuse me.
delightful.
Excuse
Most
me.
delightful. Yes.
There's a bit of a whiff, and
Oh,
it
no.
becomes apparent that he is actually pooping.
Of
How
course,
old
I,
is this guy? Like 100.
of course, I'm
70.
holding composure, trying not to show I'm deeply disgusted.
Could one of your slaves change my colostomy bag, please?
I try and disappear into the crowd.
Without looking at them,
This is when Zeev and I quickly take one step backwards, so it looks like Finney's actually went forward.
Hey Phil, do you
without
want to take
looking
this
at
one?
them, without looking at them, I just say, number 3.
No, I
Vinny
think it
finds
was a
himself being slightly more forward than the others.
I think it was a number 2 actually, but just
No, he's definitely number 3. Unless you want to be number 2.
fuck that. No,
I'm neither of those numbers, thank you very much.
You decide, and I'm not choosing. It's up to you guys.
Oh, go on then. Ever since they took a step back,
Okay, you go round to the back of his wheelchair. There's a
Yeah,
spare bag there, and
you'll
the
get me
business.
go.
You cannot pass any etiquette checks for the rest of the day.
That's passing anyway.
Is that because of the smell or because of like shit on his hands or something or what?
Yeah, basically,
A little bit of both.
it's a messy process.
Okay.
Oh no!
Shit.
¿Por qué no los
Literally.
dos?
And you're in travel clothes, so it's not like, you got spares.
It's not like we got wet wipes.
Probably taking a
Yeah.
sanity hit as well.
I imagine so.
Yep, that's missing from the
I'm
system apparently.
I'm so sorry, mate. I'm so
I'm
sorry.
not doing the next one.
Now,
Well, I'm kind of close to saying, well, man, you're already got your hands dirty.
Oh,
They're already dirty.
it's a shame that one's lost his fur. He could have wiped for me.
I was in the middle of drinking a mouthful at the time. Jesus Christ.
Apparently, Becky has decided that we all need to lose our virginity again.
Yep, she's really going hard this time.
So, yes,
Sure.
yes. My name is Brigadier General Commissar Tom.
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 Okay. Nice meeting you.
Yes, you'll need that for your report.
Most definitely. Number 2, take notes.
Now, get one of your slaves to push me back to my wagon.
Number
I
1.
give Stroker a nudge
Okay.
because
So
he's
Martin
obviously going
pushes
to
him
fart again. So
back up the ramp, back onto his wagon. At which point, the commissar who brought you over says, "I am sorry. He likes to assert dominance by using other people's slaves. I mean, he has so many of his own." Thinking,
Yeah, I figured. Number 2.
Ground control.
can I even claim it?
Commissar Tom.
I'm writing this on my invisible type.
No. I was just
typewriter.
thinking. I don't think I can even read. I don't think so.
Oh,
You went to school.
Well,
you can
well,
read.
look at it. Look
very
at it.
surprised given your education.
Look at it. Look at it this way. Your notes will
Oh,
be
yes, I can.
consistent. Your
Okay.
notes will have a consistency to them.
No, that's fine. I don't know if I was getting mixed up with a different character, but I still remembered. Oh yeah, literacy. Most characters don't tend to have literacy in Becky's games. It's like, okay, I do. It's fine. It's all good. I can read and write.
It is a skill, and you should have some in it
Yes, I have.
because you're House Oak.
Mhm.
Right.
Yes.
And so you end up marching with the commissars, with the Brigadier Commissar General. I'd better make a note of that because there's no bloody way I'm going to remember it between sessions. So let me just load my notes up.
Ground control to Commissar Tom.
Yeah, if you've written down my daughter's name, that'd be cool too.
That's
Have you actually
good point.
told the rest of us about that and
I don't think
everything
there was-
that happened?
Yeah, I mean, going through Al-Shad, I believe I told you. Well,
Okay.
I'd say I did.
I mean, I don't mind either way. I'm just wondering for canonical purposes.
I don't appear to have made a note, so.
You're gonna have to watch the video back like I do.
No, see, when all the players have forgotten, I can just make something else up. It's fine. It's not like we have audience.
GMing secrets.
We do sometimes.
Right, so
We haven't. Well, you go. As I've said before, we sometimes get audience on catch up because Stephen does like to watch.
well, maybe
you know.
he can write a comment with the daughter's name if he remembers. Because if he don't, it's fine. Because it'll be a surprise to him as well. Oh, right, yeah, Becky remembers because that was the daughter's name. I don't remember that, but God, she must be so smart to remember that daughter's name. Right. So, you travel then with the Brigadier General Commissar Tom for a couple of hours. There is unfortunately another moment of sanitary misdealings, but he uses somebody else's slave for that.
Thank fuck for that.
When coming down the scree slope is a dwarf running at full tilt towards the Brigadier General Commissar Tom. General Withens, a flight of Withens heading south to a west.
South to the west. The fuck that west? Going south to the west.
It means they're on the western side, but they're flying south.
Moraine, possibly.
Yeah, possibly Moraine. Yeah. Where should that
Because
be
where else would
based?
they be going? Brillo.
I'm waiting for the for Tom to say anything, and I'm just looking directly at him in order to let him think that I'm watching his reaction.
He actually turns to you and he goes, and with that, we'll take a short break.
Okay.
He doesn't know I know this trick.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Do you have somebody watching? Oh,
We have. You watching?
I don't know who, but I can see there's a viewer, so I'll have to not put any more colostomy sections in.
Yes,
Please,
stay
please
on
decide,
stream for our own safety. Thank you so much.
I only do that for Steve's benefit.
What?
I've opened another window and logged onto YouTube just to make it look like there's a viewer.
Wow.
All right. And so you travel for some time as guests within the retinue of a Brigadier General Commissar Tom.
Upwind, I hope.
And there are only occasional colostomy issues. And you aren't called upon to do it again, thankfully for yourself. And it gets to the evening where the mountain range is starting to get a lot more barren, and you're much lower down now. So you like altitude wise, you have definitely descended quite some distance, and you can sort of feel where it should be kind of rolling hills. It's actually more rolling sand dunes that you see on the horizon as you look down for the rest of the range, and the dwarves are starting to set up camp. Well, I say the dwarves are starting to. They're getting their slaves to set up camp because they have a vast army of slaves, as it happens. There are all sorts of creatures here, some of which you don't recognize. But you notice, perhaps you notice, who here has any xenology?
I got two.
99% sure I don't have any. No.
No.
Well,
no
if,
xenology.
if you want to gain a little insight to Thumian culture, you could make a xenology check and see if it reveals anything to you by observing the races
try.
of the slaves.
I can try, as I only have 3 cards left, but I'll try. Yeah, of course they're shit. Nope, it did nope. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Now you see just about every different species here. So including actually a griffin. She didn't expect. It looks miserable and it is in chains. Creatures that are a bit more intelligent, some of them are actually not in shackles, some of them are. But yeah, you notice some are just so downtrodden that they don't even try to escape. And yeah, the camp is made. You are served dinner that night. It is. Oh my god! I've just seen the Rhys Jones, Griffin Rhys Jones. Save us, please.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know, but it is a thing.
I'm blissfully ignorant, so I can
Griffith
suffer as you
Rhys
are.
Jones is a. He was a star in what, the 90s?
Comedian, really.
80s and 90s.
Mm.
Still does the odd bit of telly now, but mostly 80s and 90s with not the 9 o'clock news. And then
Okay, so yeah, food is served. It's kind of, industrial scale catering, but with less herbs and spices to cover it up, the flavor. So yeah, it's not particularly nice, but it's edible. And you sleep. You wake up when the bells are rung and stuff like that, and people are kicked awake, and slaves start dismantling all the camp. Not a lot happens overnight. I mean, you're in amongst an army. No one's got nothing. There's no random encounters when you're in amongst an army. But come the morning light or first light, it doesn't take long until a flight of wyverns is seen circling overhead.
Well, first of all, fuck. Second of all, I'm looking what the dwarves' army is doing.
Well, Brigadier General Commissar Tom is actually looking to you and says, should we be worried about these?
You tell me, General.
No, I'm asking you.
I mean, they're not known for having particular sympathy for the Dragon Queen that we know of. It is to know whether the alliance is known to them or not.
Yes, but are they going to attack us?
either they will or they won't. Give them a nice convent, hedge your bets on this one.
If they did, of course, it would be an open act of war. And I don't know if they're ready to face your big, big army. So
Yes,
maybe they are more scared of you than you are of them.
But should I be setting up defenses?
Why wouldn't you?
I'm looking for a yes or a no.
It's
And
yes.
you're
and
asking
no.
somebody that you maybe haven't figured out yet whether it is an observer or an advisor. I mean, I would be ready for any outcome.
I know, you're trained, highly trained, and very sophisticated man, but
Of
should I
course.
be building defenses?
It's better to have them than to not have them.
Well, when you're an army on the march, it could delay us if we start trying to assemble a fort.
I don't believe a fourth is necessary, but
Finally, an answer!
I would ask my army, my subordinates, to be ready for any sign of peril. Maybe you'd like to. I don't know the English word for it. discuss with them. Maybe they are not here to attack right away. Maybe they just want to figure out your intentions.
Now that's a politician's answer.
One of the wyverns has broken off from the circle, from the flight that is circling. There's 5 of them in total.
Mm.
And it's broken off further down, or flies further down towards the front of the army. And you lose sight of it for a while. It then flies over you. And as it's flying over, it gives a squawk, very loud squawk, and pulls up and starts flying, directly back up towards the flight of wyverns. And then there's the vulture-esque type sounds of the wyverns communicating.
Mm.
One of them, one in the flight, appears to have, well, you think it's like a bundle of sticks in its talons. And it then breaks away from the flight, does a kind of up and over, and then turns into a dive, and it's coming down directly at you and the Brigadier General Tom.
I'm taking his wheelchair and running off.
Wait, run this by me again with explanation. He's on his wheelchair, so...
Yeah, but if this thing is diving towards us at a certain amount of speed, I'd rather move out of the way before maybe they launch their sticks, I don't know, at us or something like that.
So you're trying to get the Brigadier General Commissar Tom to safety?
Yeah, but let's say I wait until the last second to see if maybe the wyvern is going to land composedly in front of us to Parliament.
If you're waiting till the last second, you're not going to have time to get him off his wagon and wheel him out the way.
Oh, we're still on the wagon. Okay. What would of course, I'm already grabbing his wheelchair and saying, what would the great admiral, whatever his name is, Tom do, seeing this? And I start to dismount him from the wagon.
I can answer exactly what he'd do. He's shitting himself.
Oh,
Literally.
amazing.
Look. At least there is the advantage that might actually draw the wyvern away.
Well, it keeps him busy.
I suppose
That
it depends
could
what
be
you
the
ate
case.
recently.
Anybody else going to make a snap decision? This thing is like 500 foot from the deck at the moment in a dive.
Yes, I'm going to find a really big pack of dwarves, which I know is possibly a contradiction in terms, but a big pack of dwarves, and hide.
Is there any way? I wasn't necessarily thinking Indiana Jones style, but the more I think about it, this might actually help. Is there any way for me to dive under the cart and kind of hold on to the underside or hide underneath?
Yeah, it's not moving at the moment, so yeah, you absolutely
Even
can get
better.
underneath the wagon.
Okay, that's where I go.
And Finney?
I will help Gamarad off with the wheelchair off
With the
of the
claiming.
car,
Thank you very much.
so it doesn't fall off and we don't drop him on the
Okay.
floor.
Yeah,
So,
I've
yeah,
seen that
you-
there was some sort of ramp.
Look, it's
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
simple. It's very simple. You get them to the top of the ramp and let go, and let gravity do its own thing with the wheelchair.
Hopefully
Just
gravity
watch him
still
go,
works the same way
"Woo!"
in this setting.
So, a few hundred feet from the deck, and you've got the Brigadier General Commissar Tom to the bottom of the ramp. A few hundred feet from the deck, the wyvern that's still pretty much coming directly at you pulls up and starts sort of applying the air brakes of its wings and decelerates down in toward the ground. You see underneath it's holding some kind of half-sized ent, basically a tree man, and about spruce really, rather than a tree man. It's quite young.
Oh no, is it
and
our friend?
Oh
Could it
my
be our
god,
friend?
is it?
Is it?
and yeah, the wyvern comes into land, and sure enough, in its talons, you see white as like his bark as pure white from fear, wide-eyed. It's Willow.
Oh,
Oh.
Well,
His leaves are shaking as he lands. It just kind of gets dropped the last sort of 6 inches or so, and then the wyvern comes down, and there's a nice dust cloud up as its wings kind of do the last beat.
If I'm able to
Is
see through
it
the cracks,
now-
then yes, I'll kind of
sorry.
come back up and be like, oh.
yeah. Is it now an elvish-looking tree?
No.
Oh,
No, but he
He's just
does look.
terrified.
Genuinely, his bark has gone white through fear. He is shaking. The wyvern gives out some squawks. They're very loud this close.
Sounds familiar.
oh, don't
It
speak
is
Mine.
quite sizable, I have to say. It's like, I mean, I think you've seen the Queen, haven't you? It is smaller than the Queen, but it is not small.
I am pushing the smelly Tom out of the ramp and a little bit closer to the wyvern.
I see how you planned that. Very clever. Wheeling me down to meet this person. You knew, didn't you? Clever little boy.
I mean, I'm from Moraine after all.
I get the impression that if Brigadier Tom was actually attacked by one of these wyverns as he was being ripped to pieces, he'd be turning around to Gamlerhead and saying, I see what you did there. Excellent piece of strategy. I
I
like you.
I bow a little bit closer to Tom, trying to fight the disgust of his smell, saying that the wyvern is holding a colleague of mine. So
He's still shaking. Willow is just like,
yeah, of course I whisper to the Brigadier General, Admiral, whatever that is, that I would be most delighted if my colleague would have, I mean, if the wyvern let him go.
yeah,
Since
the wyvern.
I'm in no place to parliament.
Yeah, the wyvern has let Willow go. He put him down. He's kind of stood next to Willow at the moment. The head of the wyvern actually is in front of Willow, but its wings are behind.
So like
and
its
actually,
neck is curling round sort of thing.
not curling around in front, but if you imagine this is like the head up here, my fingers. Willow is kind of here,
Okay.
right? And these are the wings. So yeah, it's kind of like if it was a window pane, it'd be the top right pane type thing. And there's Willow, kind of terrified. The saving grace of the wyvern is that because of its breath and like just the musk of the wyvern itself, you can't really smell Brigadier General Commissar Tom that well, which is a relief. The wyvern gives out another squawk as you get a little bit closer, and you're at that point where you're either got to address the wyvern or you've got to address Willow, and you kind of sort of go past the wyvern's head. Which is it you decide to do?
I'm not addressing anybody. I'm waiting for Tom to address anybody. I'm an advisor, so I'm not in place of doing.
You are
the talk.
playing the politician card so well.
Absolutely. I am in awe.
There are good people on both sides.
Yeah.
Now, which of you is here to speak to me? And Willow kind of goes and points at Gamlerad with a branch.
I think he's scared stiff.
Dwarf.
Deep breath. Deep breath.
Unfortunately, I don't speak Wyvernese. So
This is Willow going.
yeah, but
Like,
I mean,
trying to find
unless the
words.
Wyvern is willing to say something in
No.
either Yambic or
The Wyvern isn't saying anything now. It's finished squawking for the time being.
okay. So I already told Tom that Willow is a colleague of ours, so I suggest him that he let him join our ranks for the time being.
Where other oaks? All the oaks?
Where?
Where are all the oaks?
I
Niddy,
don't know what you're saying,
Stroker.
literally.
Zeev.
I slowly
Yeah.
kind of hoist myself back up
They're here.
into the
Don't
cart.
worry.
Yeah. I'm still standing by the car after Gamrad pushed Tom away.
Look, I really want to say something to him, but at the same time, it's like I've just been, well, not just, but I was battered in the stomach by the Thulian Bible, so, you know.
It was like yesterday.
It fucking hurt, though, apparently. At least in a role-playing sense.
You got a right belly full of it.
Could I have words for your ears?
Yeah, sure.
Tom is like preposterous. Those are slaves.
Or are they observers? Disguised observers, hidden in plain sight. And you didn't notice.
The Queen would not be so crass.
The Queen wouldn't, but we would.
We've proven it. We've even dealt with your, well, some of us dealt with your shit.
Or maybe the Queen doesn't want to leave any stones unturned.
No, wouldn't. We won't have it.
Or did the Queen do the one thing they never expected?
Even the Queen wouldn't stoop so low as to use a non-dwarf.
And yet,
Disgusting.
royalty, emperors, kings, queens, etc., think in a different way that we do. They have not the full grasp or of what it is to live in today's world, do they?
You're saying the Queen has done a disgusting thing to us?
I don't know.
I
or
stand
maybe
there. I stand there and marvel at the idea that the man who has been happily demanding that people change his rather soggy colostomy bag is now discussing the rights and wrongs of disgusting acts.
I was going to say,
The cognitive dissonance is most absent.
Yeah, but as I said, they are not like us. I'm not saying they're better. I'm saying they're different. They have no at heart what we do have at heart. So maybe they act in a way we find preposterous, but they do it in a way to ensure that bigger means, bigger ends are achieved. I don't know because, of course, I'm not put part of this.
They are slaves.
I don't know what else to add, General Admiral.
The Thumian word for slay derives from the word for dribble. Society's dribble.
Mm-mm.
I sort of lean over to Gamlered and say, yes, but only by dribbling do we get to score goals.
I repeat the sentence.
Slaves with royal blood.
Royal blood in a slave.
Hello. No, I didn't say anything about royal blood. No, no,
That's
no,
what
no,
Nini
no.
did.
Did you did out loud, mate?
Well, I was gonna nudge you really, but
I would like to put this on record. This is not my fault. In this particular occasion, it's not my fault.
She sows her seed amongst non-dwarves. We shall have to
That's been the case since
reconsider
forever.
her status as an
Got an idea.
honorary dwarf.
if we can outrage him a bit more, he might have a heart attack.
Yeah, let's hope so.
While he's rambling about dwarvish heritage and whatnot, I mean, Martin was actually close to me, so I nudge him to go and talk to Willow. In the meantime, while I try to figure his ramblings out.
Okay, so Martin, you approach Willow. I'm sorry, we've had a bit of an ordeal.
What's happened, dear boy?
I flew.
Clearly, that's been a traumatic experience for you. Come, I would say warm yourself by the fire, but I have a feeling. Yes, that might not be helpful. Come, we will sit and and converse together. Come.
I can't move. I've taken root.
All right, sit there. I'll sit with you, and we can converse here.
I hope this is a good spot. It's not one I would have chosen.
Would you
Well-
like me to rub against your bark affectionately? Would that help?
Oh, maybe you could.
Any excuse.
What are you doing here?
I was sent with a message from the Queen.
What is the message, my friend?
If you fail again, now that you have an entire army at your disposal, you are to take your own lives.
Okay, so now you've got the joke out the way. What was the message?
Not the pep talk I was hoping for.
She does realize that the majority of us were confined into little tiny bottles for 20 years.
You what? I don't know what goes on in House Oak.
No, up here in Ashthum.
You've been gone for just over a week.
We were told that it was all a drug-induced experience, that we were out for about 8 hours. And we discussed the dream I had.
Yeah.
So we know it's not really being 20 years.
Ah,
Because
It
we
was
were
alternative
told so.
timeline.
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Listen,
You
But
did
it felt like
experience it.
It felt like 20 years.
It was
did
for
the
you.
Queen,
Yeah.
did the Queen happen to remark as to where our target currently is now?
He points the branch at the balloon on the horizon.
Oh,
Should
Oh,
we-
good. We
Over
still
there.
have the balloon. That's good.
Should-
That's a nice marker.
We don't
Should be over
necessarily,
the sea by now. He's
We don't
heading to the Nostrum fields.
we
Yes,
don't necessarily know we
that's
failed, though, do we? Because that could fall from the sky at any minute.
How
Can
far
we get
away
a
is
wizard
it,
to
do we
rip a
reckon?
hole in the balloon?
The failure was obvious with the huge pink cloud.
That was not a
Yes.
failure. It was just a delay.
You've had a rather interesting effect on the world.
Well, we'd like to think so.
And yet, if she sends you via Wyvern to tell this to us, why didn't she send a Wyvern to deal with the target?
The Wyverns have another purpose.
Ah.
There is another reason that I am being taken there. I'm supposed to deal with the enchanted forest, the living forest. Only I've taken root. I was missing the ground so much I've become part of it.
Can you not just unroot yourself?
This
I
is
wouldn't-
it for me now. This is my spot. I'm a tree.
I wouldn't say too much. There's a lot of dwarves with axes around here.
A lot of dwarf what?
A lot of dwarves with axes.
Ah!
Listen,
The
listen,
Vinny.
listen.
Don't
I
say too much.
get up. I get up next to Willow to be as as soothing as possible. Listen, I think your fight or flight response needs to kick in. So I'm going to just say
It
this
did.
It's a tree.
as calmly as possible. This entire army is about to make camp.
It's
It
the
has
morning.
Yes, but it needs firewood for the luncheon.
Ah!
I
Oh,
need you to
God.
run like fuck right now,
Ah!
or
And
you're not
his
going to be
roots dig in
able to.
deeper.
Oh,
You
the-
dumb
no.
bastard.
It's a tree. It has one answer.
You dumb bastard.
I love this guy, but also like he's asked for it, frankly.
Willow, it was an honor knowing you.
Wouldn't you like to be in a nice rolling plain with green grass and other trees?
Well, if you stay there,
Come
you're
on.
not going to get that.
It digs
I
in
assure
more.
you, if you get yourself unrooted and come with us, I promise you, I give you my word, we will get you to those green fields.
Can't we just get the Wyvern to pull him
Ah!
out?
He doesn't want
It's a
that.
wall.
Shut that fucking. Doesn't want the weapon.
One step forward, two steps back.
We were almost there. I could feel the roots lifting.
No, they were not lifting.
They would have.
No.
Trust me. People
What are you doing to your cat?
She is biting my fingers. I picked her up because she was scratching the sofa.
You need to give her a
And,
scratching post then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're training her to scratch the sofa then.
Hmm.
There's only one thing for it when a cat misbehaves. Shout at it in German.
Oh yeah, you told me. You told me the trick.
What?
Wow,
Can't speak German?
things are heating up if Becky's taking off her coat.
Oh no.
We're in trouble.
Right.
Hmm.
My main mission was to deal with the living forest so that it wouldn't interfere with your army, but I'm not going to be able to do that now.
Yes, you can.
How could you move before but not now?
Because I'm rooted.
He
You
is
were- oh.
afraid.
Can you unroot at all?
No.
Can we pot him somehow?
Can I use some earth magic to loosen the ground?
Now that's a smart move. Yes, like that idea.
Let's have a look. What do you have? What level is your earth magic?
My earth magic is at
Yeah.
2.
Loosen
Where
the
did I write the earth magic in this book?
You didn't,
no
not in my
idea.
version.
That's not true.
Let's loosen the soil.
Earth magic. Earth sculpture, stone skin, stone grass, rock wall. Sorry, was it level 2, did you say?
Yes.
Okay, what does earth sculpture do? Rock sculpture. The caster can mold an area of natural rock, earth, or stone to shape it into a sculpture of their choosing, such as a person, place, or face. The magic binding of the rock is not strong, so whatever shape is made can easily be disturbed, and the spell does not allow the rock to fly through the air, but simply maintain a position in space, so you can't sling rocks at a target. The area affected is the squared number of the effect. And you would be the low effect.
I've got no bloody rock cards, no earth cards, have I?
Oh, you're in the domain of Earth, so you
Good.
can just do Earth.
Can
But it would be
I,
low effect.
when I'm doing the sculpting, then can I take the earth from under the tree?
Right, you've terrified him 4 times on top of the 1 time that he dug in himself anyway. So you're going to need an effect
11
of 5.
successes. Oh, yes.
An effect of 5.
Effect
And I shall make the difficulty 5 to correspond to that as well.
Oh, for
Okay,
fuck's sake. You could have just told us, oh, no, you can't do that.
2 cards then.
That would have been more fairer.
Oh, bugger. That's not good, is it?
That depends on the card you've got.
The hand wasn't great to start with.
Mine was.
So basically now we have to set sail with this army in order to deal with that motherfucker.
Yeah, but also the living forest and whatever else is on that continent.
So it's going to have to be. Oh, damn it. I've really got no choice. I'll just go for more high cards. Okay.
Ooh, wow, yes. Okay. Not only do you succeed, because you needed an effect of 5, you got 18. So you can actually leave a sculpture in place. What would you like the sculpture to be of? It can be up to 13 square meters.
It'll be another willow.
You build a gigantic sculpture of willow, towering over the wyvern. The wyvern is startled, panics, flaps its wings, takes off, and doing so, of course, does what birds do as it takes off, leaves a dropping, and
which, given his proximity, please let it land on Brigadier Tom. He's close enough.
Yeah, so we are.
Yeah, so it takes off. Willow has been freed by you, but then also sees himself towering over the wyvern. Is like, yes, you're right. I do tower. I will be that big. I am strong. I'm big and strong, and growing big and strong. And yes, I'm free.
Yes.
Only now that I have rooted, my water consumption is going to be very high, even though I'm free. But I'm free.
Good. We can get to the forest then. You can take root there in a much pleasanter place.
Exactly.
Yes, I can join my family. Return to myself. I have much to report.
Yes.
That's the willow that we
Wrong.
knew.
Does Tom know the way we've got to go then?
Do I know the way? Says the slave to the Brigadier General Commissar.
But we have established that we're not really slaves, so.
They like to joke, of course, they're slaves.
They should do it behind our back.
I don't even want to know what he's referring to at that point.
I lean in towards General Tom, saying that our colleague Willow, slave number 4, has come to me with further instructions as to advise this amazing army at the best of my possibilities.
I don't suppose you're going to tell me what these instructions are until it's the right moment, are you? Very clever. Right. Well,
This is the most severe case of I'll just wing it that I ever experienced as a player. Oh yeah, right. Mhm.
Welcome to Saturday nights.
Yeah. Plans never survive contact with the GM.
Yeah.
It's all coming
As it is.
together. Yes, of course.
well, we have much marching to do to get to the coast.
Mm-mm. Yes, indeed.
Here's the session. Here is the session in it. The players come up with what they believe to be, I think we've got a perfectly good plan, to which the GM replies, hold my beer.
Or
Hold my
gin in
plan.
this case. Hold my gin.
Okay. The wyverns scuttle off after, being rejoined by their other comrade. Willow comes with you. And you march for a few days out into the desert. It's kind of horrible marching over the desert. The food gets worse. Willow is starting to struggle with lack of water. It's too hot for him here. But you are following a river after a while, or you join a river and start following it. And on the morning of 3 or 4 days later, Brigadier General Commissar Tom approaches you, Gamlerad, in his wheelchair, comes up to you and says, now, very important question. Very important. And I would very much appreciate a yes, no, or a very simple answer instead of your waffling, as you do like to waffle. I know you're used to keeping your secrets, Spy Master. But today we will be reaching the Susian Wall. And the question then is, what do we do? Do we go straight through the wall, or do we go around?
Yes.
Shut up, slave.
I'm looking at him a little bit disappointed, as saying, "Are you really asking this question?"
Yes, because you're in command, you idiot.
I'm not in command of your army. I will not
No, I
aspire
command
to
the
this.
army, but you are Moraine's ambassador here.
Ah. Well, to me the answer is obvious, and it is we go around it. Our objective is not here, Commander, as you know.
Damn, do like to kill Susians. Spoiling for a good war with them for a while. Did hope to see another one before my days were done.
Well, we can have a general look from a distance,
At a
but this
wall.
is not our destination.
All right. Fine.
I can't help but clench my paws and think of pigtails at this moment.
Poor soul.
And so, yes, you do get to a Susian wall. It is a thin, shackety, rickety-looking wooden barricade, about 2 foot high, and you march around it for several miles. The next day, you're still marching around it, and the day after. And the day after that, you are still marching around it, and Brigadier General Commissar Tom comes to you and says, think they may have extended their wall.
Yeah, looks like it.
I'm a little concerned. At least this region is more temperate now, but you left the desert behind several days ago. But I'm a little concerned that they may have actually connected between the two settlements on the coast.
Between the?
Well, the settlement to the north and the settlement the other side of the river. If the wall now goes all the way between them, we'll have to go right up into Imperia and over the hills. It'll be another week. Or we could just nip through the wall, get to the coast, build some ships, and kill any Susians that come.
Well, time is of the essence, so I suggest you contact your most trustworthy rangers to see what they... Explorers. You don't have explorers with your army.
You mean scouts?
Scouts, yeah, whatever you call them. And see what they have to say, and then we can come up with a most effective solution. Otherwise, it is all just rumblings of two Arabs.
Cunning. I like it. We'll camp here for 3 or 4 days and wait for the scouts to report back.
I'm winging it.
By the time he gets to the coast, he'll be on his way back in the balloon.
Yeah, if we go on like this, yes.
So the dwarves set up camp, and yes, later that day you see the balloon goes down. You think he's landed the other side of the sea.
Oh boy.
Fuck.
Well, so much for shooting the shit out of him.
Can we catch a ride on withers just across the sea?
They left them 5 days back.
Told you the Wyverns were using the Eagles Can't Fly to Mordor defense.
Yeah, I read that. Motherfuckers.
In fairness, you never asked them.
No, we didn't.
That's true.
No, we didn't.
And so the dwarves build their camp and send off scouts. And time passes. And a day passes. And another day.
We're up
And
to
another
6.
day. And another day. And the scouts return.
4 days.
4 days.
They've only got short legs, haven't they? So
Short but sturdy.
Brigadier General Commander Tom, the wall does indeed extend all the way to the major Susian city. Right, we'll attack the city.
no.
No. Let me, please.
Mm,
Perhaps we
I
should
do.
let them get. Perhaps we should
I
let them get on with it, and then we can just go.
we were given the army because we are supposed to use it. We are not leaving it behind.
Yes, I have I have a strange feeling that if, however, we stay, we're going to be part of a great grand folly.
I don't know.
Because let's be absolutely clear on this point. Currently, they are being led by a fucking moron. And
I'm not sure if you're referring to Gamlerad or Tom.
no, Tom. Tom, definitely Tom. No.
You could refer to me. I would take no offense in that.
No. If we stay, we are either going to get ourselves into all kinds of trouble, which, okay, that's become part and parcel of our lives, but trouble we may not actually be able to get out of this time, with all the hustle and bustle of them being incompetently led, or through sheer silliness, you are going to end up being leader of this ginormous force. And you're not even going to have us much as advisors, because we're not allowed to advise you in front of all those dwarves, because they're going to immediately lose any respect for you. I say let them get on it and cause a huge fucking diversion, and then we'll go and do what we were actually meant to do in the first place, which is to kill this bastard. Let them wage their war. Let's us just we just need to find the man in the balloon and blow him to fuck. We get the easy job. Let them. Quite simply, we've got lots. How big is this army?
It's the entirety of the twin cities of Ashad and Thum.
Right, we've got several thousand bits of cannon fodder, which can
Which
be
are trying
wonderful.
to fight the Susians, which is not useful to you at all.
Let them get on with it. We need to get across to this island. Preferably with a weapon big enough that should we see the balloon coming the other way while we're making our way to the island, we can shoot the shit out of it.
What
We
about the
could.
What about the griffin the
leave
dwarves
them.
have got?
Sorry?
What about the griffin the dwarves have got? If we see the balloon, that could rip a fairly sizable hole in it, I should imagine.
It is
That's
shackled,
it.
but yeah.
Well, that's shackles.
If
Get
it's
rid of
a,
that
if it's
quick enough.
if it's a slave or a pet, perhaps you could buy it, Camerad.
Let me see.
You could set it
something
free, and they
first.
would owe us a favour.
No. We could buy the griffin.
We could buy it. Failing that, just tell Brigadier Tom that you need it for important work.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's just dumb enough to let you have it on that basis.
Okay. I go and talk to Brigadier Tom and say that, of course, the well-being of the two twin cities comes, for him at least, above everything else. So if they're going to wage war against the Susians, I'm not going to stop them. But I have other ends to meet.
Yes, your war with the Hyria. Yes, that we're supposed to be fighting for you.
And for this mission I have, I'd rather to ask him to get use of the griffin we saw among your ranks.
Slave. Yes. Get me a list of all of the dwarves that own griffins. Now,
No, for the actual griffin.
yes, I'm finding out who owns griffins.
Ah, okay. I got for all the dwarves that are called griffin, and I said, no, what the fuck? And that was not what I meant.
Oh, I wish that's how I'd interpreted it.
Oh wow.
Oh, thank you.
My only concern with giving you guys griffins is that we're not going to hear the end of Ronnie doing the Griffin Rhys Jones joke.
No, that one joke. No, that was a one-shot thing. No, I'm
Okay.
all business at the moment.
Okay.
Right,
it's
so
not
what you're
becoming a
saying
meme.
is we'll still get paid the other half if we fight the Susians and not the Ahirians.
Well, of course not.
Oh, bugger.
But since it's been days that you've been saying how much you want to slaughter Susians, I'm
But of
not going to
course.
stop you. I'm not going to stop you any further. Do that at your own peril,
Oh,
as
I
they say.
see. Right. But then we don't get the other half of the gold.
It's either we find the faster route in order to cross the sea, or you can wage a war, but you're not getting paid for it.
Fastest route is through the wall, build some boats, and get over there. Kill any Susian army that comes at us while we're building boats. Oh, sorry, wrong voice. Yes, absolutely.
So we could rip out the wall, build boats with said wall, and then set sail.
Yes, or we could travel to Imperium and use their boats.
That's too far away.
Don't have time.
How about we start ripping the walls apart?
Thought you'd never say that.
Meanwhile, we use the griffins to do some recon.
The list. Great. Right. We've got 18 Griffin owners. Miss Junior. Yes. He's from Ashad. How many do you want?
4,
Yeah, if I'm
5.
not asking that much, I'm asking for 5.
And one for Willow
Yes.
as well, if we can get him.
At the very least 4.
I can give you 5 from Ashadians. Excellent. Don't even have to bother anyone from the party. Go get me him and him. Yeah.
Large ones, if we could, not baby ones.
They're slaves.
Okay,
They all come in slave size.
slave size, yeah.
If we were to paint a picture of the three of us as not slaves, would you finally believe that we are not slaves?
But you are, Zeev. Sorry, slave number 2.
I was talking about the Griffins, but yes, you are also slaves.
But I said that
I'm
we're
begging
not.
you, Zeev. I'm begging you, please. Don't make it harder than it has to be.
You already told him that we are not.
Yeah, he's not buying it, so just roll with it.
After some period of time, dwarves who own griffins are in front of you with their griffins. The griffins are not healthy specimens. They are maltreated. They've got, tattered feathers and weak muscles and so forth. They are all in chains.
Yeah, I'd like to. Well, of course, they're not speaking. Do we know if griffins speak iambic or if they just growl as
Griffins are known to be able to speak, but that is all
Okay.
you know of them.
Okay.
The real masters of the Griffins are people from a city called Ital.
Hmm?
They are referred to as Italians.
I was about to say the Italians. Oh God, Giorgio, you're feeling good about that Griffin joke of mine now, aren't you?
Okay. I'm still going towards these griffins.
We've lost Phil. He's gone.
That's funny. That's funny.
Phil's gone.
And try and talk to them.
To the Griffins. Okay. What do you say to the Griffins? Their owners are stood right next to them, by the way. There's two dwarves there.
Yeah, I'm speaking Iambic. I'm not speaking Thumian. And I'm saying to them that I'm glad to meet them, and that I wish to treat them as equals. They're not answering, right?
No. There's
Do
a dwarf
they-
overhears you and says in Thumian. Sorry, I'll say he answers in Iambic. You could try speaking to them in Italian. I just had to do that. I'm sorry.
Cool thing is that I could actually do that and say the worst thing, and you wouldn't have a clue.
The perfect revenge as
Just
well.
so the rest of you are aware, Becky also pretended that we were out of pork pies when we actually weren't. So she is just absolutely messing
Whilst
with us
handing you
tonight.
a pork pie.
Yes. Yes.
I said the whole time I've eaten them.
Well, to be fair, they were a specific type, and you were saying, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah, it took you a moment to realise.
Okay. So they don't give signs of
They
grasping what I said.
don't. They don't. In fact, they avert their eye. They make no eye contact with you, and they look away when you try to catch their eye.
Okay. I still approach them and try to like pet them. I know there is a specific term for that, but that doesn't come to mind. In order to maybe let the message through that I am not like their former masters.
Okay, so one of the dwarfs says, "Are you looking to buy it or fuck it? Either way, I want gold."
And I look, of course, deeply offended. I look at Tom and say, "Does he know who I am? That he dares to speak to me like that?"
Yes.
Don't you know who I am?
You're
You know who I am.
I'm sorry?
He knows you're Moranian and therefore rich. You are going to compensate him for his slaves, I presume.
Okay, so that gives him right to treat me like shit. Is that what you're saying?
You were caressing the bird.
I'm giving you 50 for all 5.
Very good.
Okay. Go fuck a goat or whatever you're doing these days.
Well, for 10, you can own it and then do what you like.
I'm paying with my gold crowns.
Yeah. All right, so 50 gold crowns later, you now own 5 haggard griffins in shackles.
No, as soon as they are mine,
Hmm.
I take the shackles off.
Yeah, you get the paperwork, you take the shackles off. They immediately cower because they assume they're about to be beaten or fucked.
Are you
No,
sure
no, no,
that's
no,
the
no,
question?
no.
Are you sure that's the question you want to ask?
Of course, I'm starting with one griffin. I'm not
Uh-huh.
unshackling all 5 of them,
Okay.
and then I'm trying to show that
Animal
I'm
handling.
still. Oh, for
I was
fuck's
just waiting
sake!
for you to say that.
Do I have it? I hope I
Do
do.
you have cards, actually?
I
Who
don't
can
have
do-
I've got 3
cards.
cards left.
No, if you didn't reshuffle, no, I don't have cards.
No. Okay, that'll be an auto fail if you do it. Maybe you should hand over to
Um,
somebody else.
I don't have any skill in animal handling at all.
Well,
Which I have to say is animal
You are
handling
the
and bestiality are two very different things.
and
Not
yet
in this
you are the
context,
only
no.
one with still 6 cards. So I
Oh,
prefer you try and do that
I've got
I,
nothing.
I,
in
I
because
have.
otherwise you're screwed.
Let's do it. I've got no cards, so
I did have an always wins card,
Yeah, either
and then it was
way,
wasted.
You threw it away.
I got nothing, so I don't care who
Yeah.
does it.
Yeah. So, unshackled, Martin goes up to the griffin to try and tend to it and, reassure it and such. But Martin's knowledge of griffins is about the same as the rest of you. And after a few minutes, the griffin kind of realizes it can just fly away.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it does. The dwarves laugh at you. You should have beaten it. You now have 4 griffins.
And a change of cards.
Yes.
And a change of cards.
How wonderful.
Okay.
Oh, God, that's
I
terrible.
still have no points.
Oh, wow.
Better than last
Oh,
time.
Yeah.
mine cards are sexy.
My cards are anything but sexy.
Okay.
I could give it another try.
I can do that. But I'd rather do that with another griffin before I take his shackles off. Like teaching him to stay, like you do with dogs, etc.
Well,
Please
can
don't
we,
fly away.
what about feeding them?
Oh
first?
yeah. I look around and ask maybe caterers, etc. If I can have a
Yeah,
piece
you
of
go into
raw
the
meat.
wagon train and you come back with raw meat and grain because you're not sure yet which they eat. Come back with a load of each. And the griffins eat both, it turns out, in large quantities.
Okay.
After devouring the entirety of those 2 bags, they continue to squawk at you.
Is that good or bad?
Like they're still hungry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Feed them one of the dwarves.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've got plenty of dwarves.
Got plenty of dwarves. Feed them one of them.
Mhm.
In fact, I've got a great idea. Feed them the owner you just paid the 50 to. You get rid of him and you get your 50 back.
It is symbolic, no?
Yes.
I reach for another griffin and just point at his previous owner.
You're not going to get this griffin killed, are you?
It cowers down, lowers its head, and sort of faces the ground.
No, I pat him on the head, like gently.
It's agitated.
Yeah, it will be.
Okay.
Been abused.
I
Here's the thing. Go down on one knee and bow. Show reverence to it. Griffins are noble creatures. Show
That
reverence
is from
to them.
Harry Potter, mate.
No, actually, Harry Potter. No. That was a hippogriff for
no.
a start. But also,
Hippogriff, yeah, right.
but also, the reason they went with that is because in mythology they were noble creatures.
Okay, so I'll try and do that. As he cowers down, I get on my knees and get on his eye level.
Okay, make an evade check, please.
Oh,
And evade.
Yeah.
Why?
Bastard thinks you're challenging him now. Why?
because it's not Harry Potter.
Why? Because I assume you're not going to stand there and take the hit as it attacks.
Indeed.
Mm,
Ooh,
Oh,
you did.
just get out the way. Luckily, because that was a lot of damage that could have gone in.
Is
So
there
as
any-
you bow, it basically lurches forward on its chains and it tries to basically take your head off with its claws, but the chains just bring it short and you manage to sort of lift your head out of the way.
Okay, clearly they don't like the reverence system.
Is there
at
anyone
this
in this
point,
army that speaks Italian?
Sorry, Vinny, I missed that. Sorry.
Is there anyone in
non
this
ce
army
nessuno.
that speaks Italian?
Nessuno. Tutti inglese parlano.
I think I heard what you're
D'accord.
saying. Unfortunately, somebody was trying to speak Italian. I think I got what you're saying. So why don't we do let's see if you can talk somebody around about, so go searching the slaves and see if you can convince one, because there's enough Ital slaves here. Presumably you might have some luck with one of them. Let's see if you can convince them or the owner to come to let you borrow them or something.
Oh shit! You want a persuasion, don't you?
I want a persuade check, yeah.
Got nothing in persuade.
Persuade. No, me neither.
I've got one in persuade.
I got 3, but for fuck's sake.
Okay.
Discord. Yeah, sorry.
Shall I do a zero check then?
Whoever's going to go off and try and convince an Italian.
If you want, I can do that because I can crit again. But after this, I'm not doing anything else.
I'll give it a go. Okay.
I'm going to make it
Ready?
difficulty 0, so I need you to play your cards first.
Okay.
Oh,
Oopsie.
do. That's the ones I was going to play. Okay, you are successful. Would you like to buy the Ital, or do you just want to borrow them for a bit?
We could buy them and release them, couldn't we? Might carry some favour later on.
I am for 2 golds.
6 gold is the price.
Okay, 6 gold. I'll pay
They
that.
asked 2 for Zeev.
Yep, but I did 10 minus effect, so.
Okay.
So yeah, you buy the Ital. He speaks a spattering of different languages, a little bit of Imperial, a little bit of Moranian or Iambic, as it were. Sorry, same thing. And of course Ital and a bit more Thumian. But yeah, it's got some Iambic. Yes, of course, I help. Itals, by the way, they're big, bloaty red creatures. They carry their water because they're desert creatures. They carry enough water in their bodies to last months in the desert. So they kind of wobble around like when they stop moving, parts of their body will continue moving for some time. They're
Pizza the Hut.
curious things. Yeah, basically.
Yes, like Pizza the Hut.
So he's there.
Can you convince these griffins to help us? We need flying across the sea to the island. I can't remember what it's called.
Right. So you want to take a slave griffin flying?
Once we finish the mission, they're free to go.
You're offering them freedom.
After we complete the mission, yes. Or should we offer them before, or is that too dodgy?
Griffins
Well-
are. It takes years to learn the art of taming a griffin. It's a very difficult thing to do and dangerous. People die.
Yeah. What it's really important to us is that they understand that we don't want to be their masters. We are just asking for their help in exchange for their freedom. I don't need them to like us. I just need them to respect us for a little bit, and then they're free to go.
So this Italian goes up to the griffins and starts speaking to them in Thumian. They all understand Thumian, he says to you. Been living with dwarves for so long.
Yeah, of course.
I am rider of Findor. I was defeated by these dwarfs. And Findor, unfortunately, was also taken as slave and killed. I'm still here as a slave. You know what these people want, but they can't understand you, so what is your answer? Griffin squawk a bit, and then one of them comes forward. Food. Eight carcasses.
Carcasses. Okay.
The Italian is. They need the energy. They've been kept on a slave ration. They can't fly.
Oh, okay. I mean, we could wait for a platoon of Susan to come here, and then you can grab any carcass you can find for after the fight. Or we could see from the kitchens if they got something we can buy for you, of course.
The griffins are just staring at you, like full of contempt.
Yeah, I don't know if they have the energies to hunt.
I think
That's why I'm offering these solutions.
I think they'll buy stuff for them.
The Italian is I think that was their price.
Food is the price, not freedom.
Okay.
They demand 8 carcasses now. That's all they've said. But
Not being used to deal with griffins, any carcass is worth it, or they prefer
Big
some sort
game.
of big game? Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
Zeev would do. Big cat man.
Yeah, they cannot have him.
They do eat them in the wild.
Okay, I go towards the kitchen to see if they got some sort of big animals to butcher that we can
The
buy.
kitchen are saying, look, this is you've already taken stores of food today. In high bag. You're going to have to pay for this.
Yeah, I'm paying. I'm asking
30
before
gold.
whether you have it or not. 30 gold.
30 gold.
But we get as much as we want.
No, you get 8 carcasses.
Okay.
If you need money, I can foot the bill. I've apparently not spent any money for over 20 years.
Yeah, I'm paying that, and then we can.
Okay, you get the
see.
griffins fed them, and it takes them a while to tear through all of these carcasses, and then they kind of curl up and sleep.
I mean, as you do after you ate a shitload of food.
At least they're not
Yeah.
asking for me to be their next meal.
No, that should be good.
I think I want breakfast.
Are
now,
they,
haven't
Mr. Italian? They're good now. I mean,
Well, they're full.
yeah, but are part of the deal is, are they loyal creatures?
Loyal? No.
No. I
You
mean,
are
do
not
they
their rider.
respect? No, of course, but they respect deals they take. They maintain their words.
Once they're clear of the dwarves and in the position of strength, whether you're on the back or not, they'll be in the driving seat. And I dare say that they would fly northwest. You're going to need to find a means to encourage them to go where you want.
This is so stressful.
what would you use to encourage griffins to do what you want?
Other food?
Dominate it.
Tell them if we do what we want, once we've done what we've got and we let them go, they can have at the dwarves quite happily.
The Italian way is to announce yourself with honor and dignity, proclaim who you are, and then challenge it. Challenge it to be your servant, your willing servant.
What, by fucking it?
In honor and
get off this bestiality thing.
And to gain pride as your steed.
I was just thinking, because they were very cowering, it looked like, they were used to that sort of thing. So I suddenly thought maybe that is
Not the way the
viable option.
dwarves do it. The way an Italian would do it.
Okay.
Who are you? What is your lineage? What nobility can you bring this noble steed? How much valor will it earn?
Yeah, we can.
And then beat it.
I was just waiting for something like that, yes.
This is me as a player asking, beat what? How? I need
combat.
Oh, duel. Okay.
Best it in combat, basically. Best it in combat and make it, realize that you are its superior. It's the only way to do it.
As for improving skills, because I didn't think of it beforehand.
Before the combat?
Yes, but do I have to do that after the check?
After a skill check, yeah.
Okay, so
you could
now
do it
it's
to the last skill you checked. You could do it to evade, for example.
Oh yeah, I wanted to do with evade.
Yeah, because you did that not too long ago. It's fine.
Okay. So is it 2 and other 3? I have a skill of 1.
You have a skill of 1, so you're going to 2. Its cost is 1, so it's 2 times 1 is 2.
Okay, and going to 3 is other 3, so it's 5
you would
total,
need
right?
3 times 1 on top of the 2 times 1. So that will cost you 5.
Okay, so I'm spending 5 XP because I got 6. And I'm putting 3 total in evade.
Okay.
You
learned a lot from that Griffin strike.
Yeah. As in trust the chains and shackles. Yeah, we can We can try, I guess.
Okay. The next morning, the dwarves have pretty much dismantled the wall for a mile either way, loaded the wall up onto the wagon trains, and are heading off toward the coast. And your griffins are, chained outside your tent, and they're right there, going carcasses too.
We ordered express delivery. Where is it?
I'm so scared.
Yeah, we
Scared for you.
we can't afford to keep these things in food.
We can't afford to keep these things.
No, but we don't have to. I mean, we're just using their help for a little while, and then they're free. They're free to go. We don't have to maintain them. I don't plan on maintaining one. Fuck.
What makes you think you have the choice, says a griffin in Thumian.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't get what you said, Becky.
What makes you think you have any choice, says one of the griffins in Thumian.
A choice in maintaining you. Already, I'm answering in Thumian.
I have eaten well. I am fit, strong, and healthy, as
I can
are
see.
my clutch. You are no threat to me now. You are just a dwarf. Dwarfs are disgusting creatures. I will never serve a dwarf. Not now I am big and strong again.
But I am not an Arshadi dwarf, nor a Thumian dwarf. I take out my vial of blood and showing it to him. I'm a Marinian dwarf. I like to think I am more noble than these lowlifes here. Of course, I am not screaming it. But I come from a lineage of dragons. We are fighters. We are leaders. We are not some sort of Nazis tearing up walls to build boats. And you will be my noble steed, because you'll find pride and glory in serving me for the time
You claim
being.
to be a dragon?
Well,
I am part dragon, yes.
I say Jason's got the right idea. We're dragons now.
Couldn't resist.
Lies. Dragons have blue blood.
And I show him the vial. Does this look green to you? Or you're not able
I
to
don't know
discern
what
colors?
that is, or where you got it from. Some trinket potion around your neck.
We all have them because we all have royal blood.
I really thought your sense of smell was better than it shows up to be. And with my halberd, I cut a little bit of my palm, showing it that is bleeding blue.
You are a dragon. Show us your fire breath.
I'm not going to.
If he breathes on you this time of the morning, he's likely to kill you.
No, I'm not going to.
One of you must, and then we will adhere to your plan.
Who else fire magic, guys?
Me,
Not fire.
sort of. I have it a little. I've never actually cast a fire spell in this game before, so. And also, I don't actually have any fire cards apart from one, which is a high effect.
Yeah.
So
I literally
It will do.
have only fire cards. So if I can make a 0 skill check on fire magic, I'm gonna do it. I don't
Yeah,
give a
I've
You
got
fuck.
need
two, so I
to
might
know
as
the
well.
spell though, so
Oh,
yeah,
for fuck's sake.
doesn't work like that.
That would have been cool, though. Wait, what the fuck?
I'm going to cast the spell as a ritual.
Oh, right.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, we're not in combat now.
No,
Oh,
a
exactly.
No.
ritual takes several hours to perform, and if uninterrupted during that time, always results in an effect 10 success. Performing rituals is intense work. If the caster is aided by a temple or shrine in a location that is close to a source of elemental power, then a ritual
Yeah,
can be
but not.
completed in the space of an hour.
We're not doing the ritual then.
Without these benefits, however, it can take up to 6 hours for a ritual casting of a spell.
We put some torches around you and make a little altar.
We can all
That's
sing
kind of what the ritual
Kumbaya.
is, yeah.
I mean,
so, are you going to do
if
it that
the-
way? Because Griffin
Well-
doesn't know what a ritual is, so.
no, but if the Wyvern allows us to kind of go away and think about it, as it were, then yes, fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're griffins,
Um,
they're not wyverns. Thank God.
Oh.
That would have been much
Griffins.
scarier.
Okay, then fine, yeah, because it'll
Okay.
benefit the spell. Yes.
So you basically stay at the camp and perform your ritual. The dwarves basically, by the time you finish your ritual, the dwarves have left. At the end of that, you are bristling with, I'm presuming, like firebolt or something, or have you got something more umphy? What level is it again?
I'm on level 2, but I don't have any of the actual spells written down.
Okay, firebolt would be it then. Caster summons a ball of flame around their fist, then unleashes it at an opponent. As a ranged attack, the target has the opportunity to dodge. The flame fizzles out after striking its target and is not an effective source of ignition, but wounds caused will be burns of effect card and damage, and you are effect 10. So you have a contained within your fist, ready to unleash. You have a firebolt.
Okay, so what I plan to do in very kind of hilarious style, because they want us to demonstrate that we can breathe fire, presumably, is that I put it here, and at a perspective that's correct, I go like that to look like I'm shooting up.
Sure, but
Out of my mouth.
But you've been gone 6 hours, so when you get back, like the wyverns are kind of just milling around.
Yeah.
Not really paying you any attention.
Well, I get their attention first.
Oh. The naked cat speaks.
Well, you wanted to
Show
show.
them, Steve.
I've lubricated my voice enough to do this, so I demonstrate.
What are you firing this firebolt at, by the way?
Just into the air.
Just into the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
For a display purpose, yeah.
So you unleash this firebolt into the air. And yeah, it's quite a sizable one because you spent 6 hours, cutting yourself,
Bloody hope so.
channeling the elemental magic into your fist.
Mm-hmm.
And the wyverns just kind of look at this firebolt and kind of.
What is this? Strictly Come Dancing? Are they going to give me a rating?
Like with
6.4.
Yeah.
balls.
7, 9.
What? They want me to actually set something on fire to prove it is actually fire?
I am Chainbreaker.
Of course, I translate if they're speaking Thumian, since the others don't speak it.
Yeah, they have to at the moment. They've not yet learned Moranian.
Mm-hmm.
What has that got to do with what I've just done?
It is my name.
think
Okay.
I
He
think
is
we've done it.
presenting himself to you to show
Oh.
his lineage.
I am sorry, I've never met one of your kind before properly.
I am,
I am-
Ergov, and it starts listing a number of griffins back through lineage. And what are you? Toothman?
I am Zeev, and I do a bow.
Present your lineage of Ausok, son of
I
blah,
am-
blah, blah.
Of House Oak, and my grandmother is the dragon.
Grandmother is a dragon. Okay.
Yeah, cool, mate.
It lowers its neck, puts its beak to the ground. Are you going to stand there like a lemon? Or ride me like a fucking king?
I did say, well, I did say I was good about. I say, look, all we want is your help. But if you will let me ride you, if you will let my friends ride you,
You
then
are
that
the
would be helping
grandson
us.
of the Queen of Moraine. I am your steed. This bond is eternal.
Guys!
But if I find you have lied to me, I will claw you to death in your sleep.
No. I show the vial again on my neck. This is the blood.
And if you ever lie to me, I will shit your remains across. I will shit your remains across the desert.
Shit your moraines across.
Could have worked as well.
Yes.
I actually say to Gamlerud and Finney, you know we're never gonna live this down. Just
Well, once
I
one of us
would
showed us a
never-
dragon.
I would never lie to such a noble creature.
Well, we're all brothers, so we're all of the same lineage.
You've never heard a griffin laugh, but you think you have now. Because you're
We
different
are-
species, they're not convinced.
We all
Distant.
shame the same father, as I showed you with the cut on my hand. We're all
Breathe
dragons.
fire, then. Zeev did it without effort.
Yes.
Not moments before he was
Without
speaking to us.
Effort.
Effort 6 hours later.
Moments before, for fuck's
6
sake.
hours later.
Without effort.
Well, we are screwed. We are
I
so very
suppose
much
we
screwed.
should take our leave then.
I
I
will
fear
not
this-
fly without my flock.
No,
Unless
of
you
course
so
not.
command it.
No. If you need to fly with the others, then feel free.
We have endured much together. We find a bond between us that I hope not to break
Well,
unless
then
you
you
so
are.
command it.
Well, then you are never to fly separately unless it is
My choice.
your choice to do so. If it is absolutely necessary.
As we are a sort of flock ourselves, we endured so much together. We already had a blood bond. Now we have.
I am just the better offspring with the fire, and yes.
oh, for fuck's
Yeah.
sake.
Of course.
And the power passes to me.
I'm not commenting.
We're
Yeah.
never gonna hear the fucking end of this.
The next
Griffin
comes up to you and says, I am a chipped talon. And I would be honored to be your steed, Zeev.
Then it shall be done.
I need to make a note of these names.
Sheep.
So now Zeev as two Steve.
Breaker, Chip, Talon. And then Cracked Beak comes up and offers himself to Zeev.
Oh, I cannot write all of you together. Obviously, it is not physically possible.
Who just accepted our flock.
Yes, but I cannot straddle all 5 of you at the same time.
I am Lost Feather. And I would be honoured to be your steed.
I can take it in turns.
No, says Chainbreaker. I saw him first.
Oh, God. How does this work? Do they fight each other and prove their
Your mate's got you in trouble again.
strength?
It's I'm actually deliberately taking a step back and just saying, yeah, I'm going to let this one play out.
Either I choose one of you, or you choose for me.
Do not dishonor me, says Chainbreaker. In iambic still, and Gamlarad is having to translate, just to be clear.
Yeah, I'm still translating.
Or you name him, you name that one as yours, and then you say, the great honor of carrying my good friend will go to you. Show me your honor in accepting this great award. Make it a point of honor that they are going to have the great privilege of having that person as their steed and that person, and just do it that way.
How strong is Chainbreaker? Because to get around this slight paradox, perhaps Chainbreaker could carry the other 4 and I sit on Chainbreaker. So I'm technically being steed to all 5 of them.
No.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, was Chainbreaker the first one who kind of...
Yes.
Right, okay.
The
All
one
right,
who's
yeah.
more vocal than the others.
Yeah, okay. In that case, I say you are correct in that you did pronounce yourself first as my steed. Therefore, I must take you first, at least for now. As I said, I am happy to take it in turns, but for now, Chainbreaker is my steed.
You may ride the others when I'm wounded.
I did say I would take it in turns.
This dishonors me.
It's up to you, mate, to figure that out. They
Just-
clearly have
just
no
say,
interest in
this
talking
is-
to any of us but you.
You've got to
Just
stick with
nice.
one.
You're gonna have to take the lead here. So you are my steed. You are his steed. You are his steed. You are his steed, and just make it a point of honor for them.
I am sorry, I have had to pretend to be a slave for fucking ages. I am getting used to this power thing again.
The Italian guy said to dominate him, didn't he? So
I name Chainbreaker as my steed, and then I will kind of assign the others accordingly to the other.
Okay, which one gets Gamlarad the short?
Let's go for Chip Talon.
Chip Talon gets
Yes.
Gamlarad
Which
short.
I have to say,
I-
Chip Talon does sound like the name of a character from a Pulp Fiction novel. I like that.
Chip Talon.
the hardy
Chip-
adventurer, Chip Talon.
As soon as you announce that, Chip Talon freaks out.
Do I have to translate this growl to you?
it's a word to use. Eve.
Well, look,
Put your foot down with the firm hand.
look at me. I cannot ride all 5 of you together. It is impossible. But my companions, they do need someone to help them get over the sea. So you, Chip, you are a very competent flyer. You are going to take Gamlarad. If you disobey me...
You notice as well, you're not having to wait for Gamlarad's translations for Chip's Talon.
Is it because he's a dwarf?
I was going to say that. I think I have a sneaking suspicion that Chap Talon might be a little bit racist.
Chip
No,
Talon, this dwarf is not your usual dwarf. He
Yeah,
is from
that's
Moraine. He is a brother of mine.
and I'm not your master.
Son of a prince.
Zeev is
Grandson of
still
a
your
queen.
master. I'm not on his power level, of course, but I share a bond with him. As you four are a flock, we four are a group. We're asking to meet each other.
Chip's Talon slowly walks out. Actually, I say walks. It is more of a stomp. A slow stomp over to Gamlarad.
Okay,
Presses its beak right up to your face.
my hand is on my arming sword in case he attacks or something.
I outnumber you in Moranian.
Yes? What?
I outnumber you.
You
Yes, we
outnumber me.
know. We know that.
Dude, you have authority over them. You literally have authority over them. Speak to them.
You will not snarl at Gamlarad. He is my brother. Get used to him.
Tell him I'm not his master. You're still his master. He's just carrying me around, giving me a lift. I'm not his master. As
Are
is not
these-
my steed.
Like I said, all these griffins are helping my companions, you included. One of you must take Gamlarad. I have chosen you. That is an honor. That is a responsibility. If
I'm
you do
gonna
not like
drown.
dwarfs, get over it. He is different anyway. He's grown up with us, not these Ashad Thum fascists.
Chip's Talon, still staring down Gamlarad, stands up on its hind legs and extends his wings, looking fearsomely huge, actually. Towers over you.
I said no. I am
And then
still your master.
After a few seconds, crashes back down to the earth, but clearly doing so, even lifts his rear legs up to land with all four at once to just increase the thud, make himself sound bigger. I will carry you in my claws.
You will not hurt him, or else I will beat you.
A little bit of blood.
And then
Oh.
after that rather Karen moment, I will assign the other two a griffin.
And Gamlarad translates, and they all kind of acknowledge.
Okay, they are being racist. That's fine. I've been racist for two sessions already. I mean, it's only fair.
So, Martin, you're on Crackbeak, and Finny, you're on Lost Feather.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. You're all on griffins. Well, I say on griffins. Chip's Talon is kind of on Gamlered. It's clawing onto your chainmail.
Well, it was exactly the same for Frodo and Sam with the eagles, frankly, so it can't be that bad.
I don't believe the eagles hated Frodo and Sam, but yeah, it's almost the same. Yes.
So I don't remember the Eagles turning around to Sam or Frodo and saying one fucking false move.
What about
Or,
seconds
or the
screaming?
eagles just going a little bit tighter with that claw than with that talon than they need to.
Hmm.
One false move. And if you show any signs at all that you're still in any way influenced by the ring, all I have to do is squeeze, motherfucker. I'll change the ending of that book.
And then you're airborne. This, for 3 of you, is quite a good experience.
Oh, poor Gamlerad.
Gamlerad,
I did
your
try.
shoulder's hurting a bit.
Yeah. No shit.
And before long, you're flying over the sea. It transpires to you after the fact that the sea is actually quite sizable. And you're going to be flying for over a day.
Wow.
Oh, bollocks.
For Gamlerad, 3 times you are dropped and caught. Each time hurts. I would like to apply 4 wounds of
Oh.
level 1, level 2, level 3, level 1. There we go. You're kind of just from minor lacerations.
So 1, 2, 3, and 1.
Yeah,
All minor wounds.
just minor. Small lacerations where chipped talon just treats you a bit
Okay.
rough.
Not dislocated shoulders or anything.
No, but some amount of minor blood loss.
This is where Chip Talon at one point sort of looks down at it and says, "This is the shit I can do to you without even trying."
Well, he's certainly living up to his name, that's for sure.
And so after about a day and a half or so, you see Iheria, the other side of the ocean. You get the screen share up. So little island in the top right there, that is Iheria. And you are approaching it. Can you see my mouse? Yeah, you're approaching it around here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Nostrum Fields up here. This is an imperial city down here. Up here is Iheria. And the Nostrum Fields are there. You make landfall on a luscious tropical beach. And lovely sand, palm trees just behind, where it becomes greenery. And the Griffins land, and they're quite tired and hungry and thirsty. And they're kind of looking to you for food.
Yeah, I'm assuming that they only drink fresh water, right?
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we better find them food and water. You have done well. We will find you sustenance.
Off hunting then.
Okay. Let's finish off the night then with 2 things. First of all, a survival forest to see if you find any game sufficient to feed the griffins.
I have a 1 in forest. Anyone got any higher?
I've got 1.
I got nothing.
Yeah, same.
Okay,
Nothing.
it's going to be me then. Oh, that's helpful. Okay, so bum. Oh,
Yeah, I got nothing.
Ooh, nice.
So yeah, you do very much feed the griffins. That's sufficient there to feed 9, apparently. Um, so yeah, you return with this. Basically, it's like a gigantic ostrich kind of creature, only in wild, vivid colours.
Ooh.
And it's large, like bigger than a horse. And yeah, the griffins are quite delighted. In fact, there's enough there, to last them several days. They, after begrudgingly asking Gamlerad to translate, the griffins ask if they may overeat on this, which will mean they can't fly for a bit, but it will keep them well stocked for a time.
I translate
I-
to Zeev.
I imagine we
think-
need to get rest. I mean, we've been awake a day and a half.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think that's fairly viable.
Okay, then they devour the entire thing. And yeah, I mean, like you've not really had much rest yourself, so presumably you're going to make camp in the edge of the forest, are you?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, you pitch your tents, bang your tent pegs into the ground, and a tree says, "Could you please not do that?" And we'll end the session right there.
Okay.
How much
Thanks,
XP are we
Babe.
gaining?
Did I say?
Right away.
Did I give you an extra XP last time, or did I say I'd do that next time?
We got 3 last time.
Yeah, so it's going to be 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, no, it's 11 o'clock, isn't it? We played for 3 hours, so have
We have,
3.
yes.
Yeah, have
Yeah.
3.
It was a long session for AFA.
It was.
Yeah. Unexpectedly.
Given it, I had no bloody plan at all. Other than
Yeah.
the dragon
That was good. It was
noise
really
at the start and Willow's arrival. That was the only thing I thought of beforehand.
Mhm.
But yes, there you go. You've made it to Ahiria
Mm.
Excellent.
And now
You
we
made
need
it
to go
to,
without
Yeah.
Willow,
Yeah.
and without your army.
Yes. We don't need
Without
an
our
army.
army, yes.
We don't need
We
them.
can do enough damage ourselves.
Absolutely.
Oh, you're so outnumbered. Okay, I'm going to end the broadcast here, and I'll mock the players in private for a little bit, and then we'll end off. So goodbye. Thank you for watching, audience member who stayed with us and didn't tune out.
Oh, bye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.